That's when Bravo took contact. We observed, we tried to get like an idea of their strength, like the number of their force. The Op 4 retreated. After we completed our sills, we moved into where Bravo took contact, assessed their casualties, and continued on to our target point, which was to place the sensors at the barn, and then we established extracted.
All right, good brief back, good brief back. Okay, somebody from Bravo. You, since your mouth's full and I've caught you at a bad time.
So
all right.
We stepped off, pushing down out towards where the abandoned house was. The goal was to set the infrared sensors. For the most part, seemed to go all right. We did get turned around, a little lost, but then got back on course. We were maybe 200 yards from the abandoned house. We started taking contact, engaged. I think we had 1 or 2 people get hit. We pushed forward. Eventually, whoever was shooting at us broke and disappeared. We got the sensors planted. Eventually, Alpha, we met up with them there. They got their sensors planted, and we grouped together and headed back up this way.
Okay, so only Bravo took contact. Okay, everybody in Bravo who got killed, put your hand up. Only one guy?
We had one for like a medical happened during the firefight.
Explain the medical.
He emptied the contents of his stomach.
Oh, okay. All right, so we're all good now, so we don't have to go roll over.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. No problem. All right. So, let's. Chris, could you help hold the map up? All right. So, someone from Bravo come up and put their finger on the map where the firefight took place. Somebody in with I'll help orientate you. This is your objective right here where you were to put the sensors. So where do you think that firefight took place?
Is this the abandoned building house right here?
Yeah, right here.
That's the abandoned house?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was right in here.
Not even close.
Really? We walked up and
Yeah, we got off with our original bearing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
it was either here
I
or
can.
here.
We almost came in.
All right. All right. This is a good point. Nothing wrong here. Go ahead and have a seat, man. So we have 2 points. It was either here or here. See how fucking crazy shit gets at night? How you can get off course? Now let's go real quick. Team leaders, cadre, correct me if I've got this wrong. Alpha was to leave the fob, come down this tree line like this to the house. Alpha, is that correct?
what?
That's correct. You were supposed to leave the fob, come down this tree line here.
Yep.
Correct.
To the farmhouse. Okay, so that's what Alpha was supposed to do. Bravo, you were supposed to go to the far side fence, follow it all the way down, and then cut into the west and link up the farmhouse, correct?
Correct.
All right. We engaged Bravo in a firefight, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Well, that firefight happened right here.
Correct.
So there was a navigation error.
Yes.
Correct.
All right. When did you all realize the navigation error?
Well, we weren't going as straight as, when it was explained in the beginning, so we'd be going straight for probably 75% and then cutting across. And then when we zigzagged so much, it was like, it definitely wasn't straight. I figured out early on that I was confused, honestly.
And with the navigation, that was solely my responsibility there. I established a route plan, and the route plan was the plan that you mentioned up there, with the guard railing that up there. On my end, I took a point in navigation, as I should have, and within that, I relied too much on this and on handheld GPS, and somehow turned around. I believe my rifle definitely hurt my bearing on that, so that was definitely a thing on my end. So all this to say is initially our bearing was good. We hit the edge of the property, we hung right, and then I became too trusting of roads. Seems kind of so long there. So I think the rest of the crew can definitely concur with me following the roads too heavily.
No, it made sense with the time hack. It was
No, you had a tight time hack. That's why we
the
had
distance
handrails.
traveled and cutting through the bush. We pretty much had to stick to it, and it was a series of calculated risks that, for the most part, paid off. We did what we could to minimize it. All right, look, we got a time hack. and we're going to be exposed, so we're going to fucking booger across all at once. Check out the other side, get a thumbs up, and then just proceed to try and make that time hack. So we did have to take some of the less desirable routes, but not making it there is an automatic mission fail. Being bold in your movement is not.
No, speed is security, guys. It almost worked. It almost worked. The only reason that you guys got so close to us, literally, I'm looking through the knots going, no, that can't be it. No, that can't be it. Then it got to the point until it went, oh yeah, that's it. It was luck that you caught us on that element of the patrol. If you caught us on the other lane, we probably would have bumped in when you were placing the sensors. So sometimes, guys, luck gets to say. Equal bad luck sometimes. All right, that's good. Okay, so what's a good lesson to learn from this navigational error here?
I ain't got a damn clue.
That is a good answer. No. We're all chuckling about it, but no, that's a good thing. All right, who is your backup compass man?
Yeah, that's
one of failure.
We were worried about doing other things, and we didn't have backup company. There's obviously a key vulnerability in our plan.
Okay.
I had a pretty good idea where we're going, so we kind of double checked a couple things just from familiarity. But,
You're also a very small element too, so that's a calculated risk, as you said.
Yeah.
Now, who's your pace man?
Great question.
Same basic principle is I had a pretty good idea where we were the whole time, and I was pretty on point with land out. So
Okay.
that was kind of the knowledge
Yeah,
of the
not
redundancy.
big,
Is I knew where we were the whole time from this train association.
Right. Okay, that's one of the tricks of this area, guys. You can train associate pretty easy here. Okay, and it can be a trap at night. So, compass man has a backup compass man, because in the dark shit can happen, and you can lock your compass down your avenue, bump it, and now you're 10 degrees off because you moved your dial. Your backup compass man, if he knows he's drifting, can say, hey, whoa, and then you can work it out. Pace man, okay, you have your points that you're hitting. Pace man's counting. If our first point's 300 meters, and he goes, wow, I've just paced off 400 meters, that's a reason to stop and evaluate where you're at. Okay, these are lessons to learn for the future. All right. Now, you had mentioned over in Alpha, you guys got a little off course too.
So originally we were hand railing the road, and the route that we had intended to take was to follow the established route of ground. We ended up cutting through the tree line in order to expedite and cut our time a little bit. As soon as we heard them taking contact, we started cutting through more of the tree line to get a better view of what was going on.
Okay, so there was no navigational error. You guys just marched to the sound of it.
Well, we did get a little
Actually, there was a navigational error, and I'm not even sure if anybody caught it. Bill, you should have caught it. Remember when I said we're going the wrong way, turn around?
Yeah.
We were right at the place where we needed to go across the linear danger area because we'd seen somebody on thermal. Like,
I saw you guys
Well, we
cross
saw
the
y'all
field,
cross
and then you came
front.
back behind us.
Well, so what we did was we started going back, and then I saw the CQB house again. And I realized, oh, I can turn this around. That was the way we were supposed to go. So we cut around toward the racetrack.
Yeah.
If we had gone across right then, that was like a minute before they got shot at. If we'd have gone across then, we'd have been lit up.
Exactly.
So I'm glad I screwed up because that probably saved our ass.
Yeah. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, guys. Luck goes both ways.
The element that took fire, where y'all at? So when y'all took fire, I heard communication.
Mhm.
All right, I heard you, of course, but I heard other people, calling out targets. Hey, there's a muzzle flash over there. There's a muzzle flash. Oh, he's moved over there. So on your communications, hey, once rounds go down range, all that freaking whispering and shit, it's kind of much out the window in the very beginning. So I know I heard contact front. I heard the first initial volley of fire. Y'all started to bound across that. There was a little road there. Y'all didn't realize we were walking the road trail. I did see you guys bounding across. Of course, we were on both sides, so we could kind of see it. But good communications on there. So that was
I think within a second or so, I heard you commanding push right, and
Yep.
then I heard
Yep.
a volley of.
because you guys go from fuck, this sucks walking in the dark mode shit to oh shit, you know what I'm saying? And it happens. So, but you gotta be ready and listen to your leaders, small unit leaders and shit. They're telling you what to do. Get across. So good on that.
When he realized he was down, he took immediate action and took charge of the
No, we saw violence of action right away. There was good reaction to the fire. If I can come up with anything, it's a minor gig. It is just you all maneuvered. We didn't get any. There was a lull before we took
Take
return
me down
fire.
slower next time. That was way too fast.
Yeah, I thought y'all.
missed the first
There was a
time.
spot where we
Yeah.
thought y'all were shooting at each other.
Oh,
We were just chilling, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, we're
some
hearing this
dudes
fire.
up
We're
and
like, what are they shooting
I mean, we were
He
like,
said
well,
push right.
I told them because I thought you guys ducked into the woods to the right, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
so
that's
I was
all-
like, well, there's nobody
well,
friendly in front of us. We already took contact, so fire a couple rounds. That way we can make our swing to the left, to then advance, and then
and somebody
maybe
did
I
kill me.
didn't
I was
shoot at.
standing there, just I'd ran out of ammo, and I was like, doo-doo-doo, and then somebody did shoot me. So I don't know who it was.
Now here's a real life thing, guys. Okay, we all had Miles armor tonight.
were you up by the barn?
You know, all that vegetation blocks the laser beam. Did anybody who had nods on see your beams?
Yeah, I was trying to hit
Yeah.
whoever was at my 12 o'clock.
You had really good atmospheric conditions tonight, so you could see your beams. So not only did you hear your beeps, but you kind of knew if you were close or not. Okay? So in real world, there'd be a lot more dead people.
Yeah.
Leaves don't stop bullets. Okay? When you get behind cover and your cover's a twig this like this stops 0 bullets. Alright? So it's easy to hide behind a bush out here and think I'm invincible. In real life, leaves don't stop anything. So
But you
it's
guys
just-
had your immediate action drill today, right? I knew they were shooting at you,
Yep.
and you did what?
Yep.
Get down, right? Fire maneuver.
That was good. We saw you use your drills. That was good stuff. All right. You haven't had a chance to talk. What was the response when you guys marched towards the enemy fire? What y'all do?
Well, we assessed the situation first, and then we all got down, and we, I think someone said that there was like contact in front of us, and then I think that's when we crossed the road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then I think we just like, we got to where we were supposed to meet up, and then they said passcodes, and then we entered into the.
Okay. So the challenge and pass worked.
I heard someone yelling in the back.
Okay.
That was me that yelled it back.
Okay. So that worked. So we know challenge and pass works. Okay. So after, let's see, someone in Bravo. Shane, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. How's the link up go and the movement to the vehicle?
So I initiated the challenge.
Okay.
Okay, apparently it was either Lily, I completely forgot. I think it was Lizzie, but I got the right one syllable response, so I didn't have to go to fire mode really. So that happened. Alpha linked up with us. The boss man made a plan of action. Alpha was to proceed forward. Bravo followed behind. Slow track up to the extraction point,
Okay.
keeping good security.
Okay. I noticed you guys didn't take the easy bebop wave to go out onto the grass and the hardball and just walk up the road to the vehicle. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. You know, just because you link up doesn't mean the mission's over. It's not over till you're in the extraction vehicle and on the way home. All right. So we're gonna start and go around to you, Shaker. Starting with you. Give me one good thing and one bad thing about this.
One good thing is we kept our unit cohesion. Whenever we're making a movement, no one got lost. Everyone maintained integrity of the element, and we accomplished our task. One bad thing, I'd say that we didn't really establish a lot of terrain features to look out for besides the shoot house and the dilapidated barn. I feel like the power lines and the direction they were going could have gave us a route, because I noticed the power lines kind of ran adjacent to where we were going. And some other little things we could have used to, if we did a route walk beforehand and did a scouting or reader's recon of the AO, theoretically we could have had a picture with.
Yeah, he's absolutely right about a leader's recon, but you're also on a wickedly compressed time frame, guys, so it wasn't an option. Sometimes you got to do your map recon and live with the consequences. How about you? One good, one bad.
Good thing is I thought communication was really good. We had a couple setbacks. I mean, 2 of our guys in our squad didn't have night vision. I did not have night vision. Some problems, couldn't get the helmet and the night vision and some of the stuff to work right. So in spite of that setback, we still came up with a good plan and had good communication. The bad thing is, it just, I'm not going to mention who, but just got to please be careful with light discipline. I saw a couple things that I could see with my plain eyes, and it stood out. I stopped it. I told him, make sure that got taken care of, but yeah.
That's a good one. Good one. Go ahead.
One good thing, I actually thought the recon was pretty good. Like, they definitely were like letting us know, like, hey, we see guys or something, you know, the people that had the night vision. And one bad thing I would say is, like, we're maybe not dispersed enough, and sometimes we'd be like standing up when maybe we should have like got down or something for a second.
Okay. For you guys out there that had no nods, what was your visibility?
Honestly, not as bad as I expected.
No, it was unusually good illumination for the moon conditions.
As soon as you got in the woods, it was crowd.
But when we got in the woods, I was grabbing the guys back in front of
Yeah.
me, and then the cat eyes helped a lot
And
too.
that's totally legit.
Yep, that's legit. How about you? One good, one bad.
Good. We went through some pretty rough terrain. There was a couple of drops, like 3, maybe one was down about 4 feet, when everyone maintained their footing. We did really good too. I think we ran through some kind of junk pile. I'm not sure what it was. It's like old farm equipment or something. But overall, that was really good. And I guess once we did the hookup, maybe just a tad bit. I was a tad bit confused what was going on there. I mean, that was on me. But as far as the hookup and who was all there and who wasn't there and everything. But
What you got? One good, one bad.
One good, communication and calmness. So when we did link up with Bravo, I think I heard also the wrong challenge pass initiated by their side. It was very close. I think they said Lily instead of Lizzie. And at that point, I thought to myself, what if that unit was compromised? Because we just saw that gunfight. Maybe, whoever the op for was, heard that, shot them, and tried to repeat it, and, deceive us into thinking that, we were going to walk right into them and get shot in the back. So I'm glad that we took a second and stood information before, lighting each other up over a slight miscommunication on that.
So really good. Yeah. Okay. Got bad?
One thing bad, I guess we probably could have, I know we were running a little low on time, but I think we probably should have all gotten together and done like a lace check or something before heading out. Just make sure that everybody has liquid inside. We all checked our own stuff, but it's always good to get somebody else's eyes on you and make sure that you have everything.
Absolutely. That's troop leading procedures. When you guys get into light leaders, it's one of the things you're going to learn. All right. Give me a good and a bad.
Good. I felt like with the time hack and a couple other things, we were really adaptable, like quickly identified problems and made adjustments. Bad on me was an IR discharge with NVGs.
Okay. So how'd that happen? Just so we can learn from it.
I was getting really overheated and kind of like out of it and just went the wrong way.
Just hit the switch.
Yeah, went all the way down. And got somebody to help assist while covering it up.
Okay. You know what?
You handled it quick. You recognized it and
Yeah. Okay.
mitigated it pretty quick.
That happens. Everybody has light accidents out there. Anybody says they don't, just haven't done it enough.
Especially with the D300s.
Yeah. Shane, give me a good and a bad.
Well, the good is Drew's alright. I think his dinner came out pretty quick during that firefight, so he's good. Bad. Yeah, well, I got the passcode wrong by 2 letters. I blame the adrenaline. But yeah, that's my
Well,
bad.
you use a different alphabet anyways.
I counted 7 guys. I knew it was them. So
hey, but we talked about that, didn't we?
yeah,
Him and Andy.
7 guys.
Yep, 7 guys, make sure it's them. And then them fast.
Smart.
All right. You give me one good and one bad.
Good. There was a couple times we were getting down through ditches and bumpy areas that guys fell, ate shit. But right away we were grabbing them, getting them back up. People were saying that you good, you chill, you good to keep going. But there was definitely a team effort, make sure everyone was able to keep up, staying together. When we pushed through the woods, there was a, hey, you can't see, you don't got nods, just stay right on me. So the communication was there. Bad. I'd said before how we got turned around, but stuff happens.
Okay, fair. Just because we ask for a bad, it doesn't have to be evil bad. A bad could be just, oh shit, I got to learn to strap my canteen down. Oh shit, I got to make sure I bring batteries for the radio. Okay. Give me a good and a bad.
The good was how quickly we moved when we had to move. Leadership was very communicative about why we were moving so quick, and then we corrected the troubles that we had. The bad, I'll tag right onto that. When we were moving, a lot of times there seemed to be a separation, and so when hand signals had to be called, even me with nods, because I was trying to keep the rear guys in sight, but also keep the front guys in sight. So I was kind of being that middle guy. I was far enough away from the front guys that I couldn't see what the hand signals were, and I was far enough away from them that I couldn't pass it on even if I wanted to.
Okay, well, let's talk on that for a moment, guys. At night, you can have various light conditions. On a night like tonight, if we had a full moon, you could almost get away without nods. And you could have daylight separation. You get a night tonight with heavy cloud cover, and your nods are almost no good, and you're literally hands on the back of each other, you know, moving like a slow train through the woods and stuff. You got to adjust your interval as necessary. Another thing to think about, when not everyone has nods, make sure Taylor and Charlie is the guy with the nods. You know, make sure he's got a set. That way, when people start to drift or when the chain breaks, he can collect things up, because if he's got nods, he can see 2 or 3 people ahead. Whereas the guy in front of him might just be desperately grabbing the guy on back of him, and the moment he loses his grip, he's lost everything.
That was you on the 40th during the raids. You did that for us.
Yep.
You like maintained. We got separated a few times. We didn't link up that way.
Yep. Yep. Because the guy in the back, to use the example Joe's giving, you know, it would break 3, 4 people in front of me, and I'd just keep pushing, keep going, keep going, keep going. You know, so that's just a technique. You know, not required to do, but it's a technique. Scott, give me a good and bad.
Good would be really good teamwork. We had to adjust fire between we had left a few minutes after we wanted, had a couple detours, so we kind of look. We know there's a great way to cross an LDA, and then there's our time crunch, and everybody's really adaptable, keeping up with the pace that we did to kind of make up time, and everybody was very disciplined, like we talked about we only shot the right guys and didn't shoot any of the wrong guys. So that was very disciplined, and I was really glad to see that. That worked out really well. And what could have been a lot better was my carefulness and planning. So when we went out, in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, well, we're going out Keeling's route. So when we link up, it only makes sense that he was just there. It would make sense that he would lead us out that way, but I didn't actually communicate that to him ahead of time. It worked out pretty smooth, but I could have been a lot more specific in how things went.
Good one. Yeah, give me a good and bad.
I'll start with the bad. I like to end with good news. All right, bad with cognitive loading on my part. I was pretty possessive over certain tasks, particularly the land navigation and then even some comm stuff. So I definitely took away some roles that really should have gone to other students. So that's my mistake there, and I think I kind of starved you guys of somewhat of an experience. But I think we had our own experience here tonight, right? So cognitive loading and being very possessive of tasks. Ending on the good. Good was the adaptability that we had, and where that you guys were able to roll with kind of developments that we had of, hey, we're getting turned around. Hey, fellas, let's get together. Hey, this situation, we got a time crunch. We need to stick to these roads, expedite ourselves a little bit. You guys are really understanding of that, and despite many of you guys running under knives and under conditions like this, you guys are moving really well. So, absolute kudos to you guys. Well done, fellas.
Give me good and bad.
I think couldn't mention the good without starting with the bad. Bad is we lost one of our leaders. That leads into the good because everybody adapted. He stepped right in there, started barking out orders, getting us right on line where we needed to be, and I think that really saved probably a lot of us.
Okay. Put a fun point on it. So, how many people seen the movie Full Metal Jacket? All right, good. All right, do we remember the scene in Way City where the Marines are walking by the tank and it hits a mine?
Not that much.
Yeah, LT dies.
LT dies, and what immediately happens?
Orders.
Right. The sergeant takes over, and the sergeant dies, and what happens?
Joker takes over.
Right, and everybody keeps going until Cowboy gets in there, and Cowboy blows it, and everybody dies. But you notice how many people they had to go through before they got stalled. You know? Everybody understanding the mission and understanding their role can keep you rolling. And you'll be surprised how many times aggressiveness will just carry the day. Give me good and bad.
Well, the good follows up with him. You know, when we took initial fire, we all dropped down, got prone like we were supposed to. He called out, move to the right. We moved to the right. When you said that, I heard someone mention that there was some fire going on that y'all were like, what the hell's going on? Or are they shooting at each other? I had them around go off as I'm moving to the right. So I was like, oh, come on. pulled back for a quarter of a second, so it put me in a zone. But we got over there. We mounted to where we needed to. Continued to fire. The bad, I believe, in this situation, I see the bad in myself more than I see in anybody else. And that was, I was number 2 man behind him. And I feel like I should have known, but at the same time, I don't know shit about land nav, to be honest with you. Not enough to account for anything. I should have been keeping our course with my compass to help him as well, to facilitate him if he gets off course and say, hey, stop, we need to look here. I think we're off course a little bit. And I felt from that part.
Alright, hey, really, that's actually not a bad thing. Land nav is the most perishable skill of any military skill, hands down. Guys, I'll admit, I suck at it. Okay? So I always make sure I have a backup because I know the limitations. But everybody, no matter how good of a land nav god they are, will fuck up and go wrong sometimes. It just happens. It's inevitable. That's one of the reasons we have backups.
I think we would have just kept on course a lot more if I'd have done that. And when we saw Alpha come across, we hollered on the radio, you know, trying to link up with them and see what they were doing.
And I heard that I
couldn't link up with them.
With the radio, I heard them, but it was radio being radio, and it was, I tried to get a sit rep, and it was Bravo, we are, just garbled.
Yeah, it's
just one thing.
Was
real
it?
quick.
Maybe it's the power lines too.
I don't recall a time that I got actually comms with you guys outside of the fob.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause I never, when you came out to the
When you asked for our sit rep, you asked for a sit rep, right?
Yeah, I heard you say Bravo, we are, and it just kept like, it was just garbled. I couldn't get it.
Yeah, one more like comment. I feel like we should have had a comm check plan or like time hacks for sure. Like I felt like we were just trying to wing it and guess when they would be listening in because the handsets are dodgy. You can't really hear.
It was quiet.
So if we would have established like, hey, at like 1930 on the dot, comm check plan, get comms with either Higher or Bravo, would have.
It's not a bad idea. Also remember, this plan was laid on these.
We had 3 radios on 2 different nets and couldn't get them on any.
Yeah, it was, I think, atmospherics were getting.
We tried to contact Higher as well. Higher didn't respond.
That's one strategy is like having regular check-ins. Another part, and right now that doesn't really apply. No one's like punching us like RDF wise, but we also had a plan of like, look, the only thing we really need to tell you is, hey, we've got eyes on the prize 200 meters out. So whoever was there first knew to expect either they knew to expect us from ideally the northwest, and if we got there first, we would expect 7 packs from backwards, but a northerly direction.
I figured that like when you guys took contact, you guys would have radioed that up and like gave us a sit rep on.
Correct. All of our radios were dead.
Yeah.
Plus, I know in a perfect world we want to do that, but when we were trying to survive, sometimes that will have to take a back seat to getting out of the ambush or getting out of the line of fire. And afterwards, once it calms down, yes, or if you have a designated RO or something, that becomes their task. But it is definitely you gotta do that more often so that you're keying that mic.
Would checkpoints of you can have phase lines, checkpoints. Yeah. Yep.
Call it a Higher.
Yeah, you can call them into there, into your Higher and stuff. That could be part of the plan. Again, this was a hasty plan. Remember the brief I gave you of the situation, why we were doing this mission? You know? So, yeah. Checking in on your comms, having phase lines, having rally points. Yeah, that's all stuff. Sometimes you just got to do it quick. Chris, give me a good and bad.
Team moved amazing. Like, for day 1, I was like, this is impressive. Nobody made a lot of noise. They were staying together. The 2 guys who didn't have nods were staying close to people who had nods. People were telling each other, like, you know, watch out for this log, watch out for this hole. Everybody stayed together tight, moved fast. Point man, like, I gave him only the rudimentary guidance, and that was it at the beginning. And then every time he had a question, like, all right, where do I go from here? He'd just stop everybody. We'd take a knee. I'd go up, and I'd say, okay, go down that way, and then go left. Okay. And he would go do that, and he'd stop, and he'd say, all right, what next? And we'd just go piece by piece. It worked pretty well until we got into the actual wood line. But yeah, the team moved fantastic, and you know, rushed when we had to rush. You know, got down when we needed to get down, and listen, right? So I think at the beginning, like of the night when we did the 5 o'clock chow. And then we had 6 o'clock personal hour. We should have had 6 o'clock issue. Get all the equipment during daylight. We were delayed a lot by having to deal with the equipment in the dark with flashlights at the last minute while we were getting prepped up. If we could have issued it at 1800, gotten everything squared away, done our PCIs like in here or with lights, right? It would have gone a lot quicker. We had a lot of issues with equipment. Because we were already late, I only took about 2 minutes to go over our plan on a map on the ground real quick. Like, hey, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go here, and that's it. That's why he had no idea where he was going and have just like just go that way. But having that time, then once all the PCIs were done, then we could have given him an hour to rest before the mission, instead of trying to get everything done really rapid fire right before the mission. We would have had time to get it all done, and then they could have just relaxed and gotten up to speed, and hydrated, and everything else they needed to do, and maybe ask questions if they had them for an hour before the mission.
Fair enough. All right. Bryce, give me an up and down.
And you took the words right out of my mouth. So, despite everything that we had, we kind of rushed through a lot of stuff with getting gear issued, doing comms checks, making sure that the plan was understood by the troops. As our bad thing, that was something that we absolutely could have done better. Was flesh out a lot of things, make sure the troops understood what was supposed to happen, make sure that everyone was good with gear, make sure that all the contingency plans were in place, backup compass men, backup base counters, backup point men, who was running what position, etc. That said, the good of this was that despite all of that, the team executed the mission. We completed the mission with only 2 casualties on Bravo team, and we were beyond setbacks. We were successful in the mission.
Okay. Completed your mission. Good job, guys. Okay. So, you made contact with the enemy. Okay. Let's go back to the briefing that the intel officer gave at the beginning. So, clandestine night link up. In-place sensors. Possible enemy. What's your salute report you're going to give?
We didn't make any contact. Alpha.
You're a consolidated unit now. Come back. You're back.
Okay.
Report. What's your report to hire? Because I can guarantee you on a mission like this, you guys are a platoon from an infantry company. You're going to have guys from battalion, brigade, and as many people in this room all want to hear what you did because everybody heard a firefight.
Well, let me interrupt you. That's not a fair question to ask him because he wasn't present for it, and we just rallied together. Hey, we get the last 2 sensors. Come with me. Here. We put them in. We put the far one in first, so we have minimal. The fucking IR lights keep turning on when you set them. Anyway, so we set them in far to near. Hey, I got all mine. You got all yours.
Yep.
Okay.
Just came out with me, so I didn't actually brief him on that. So yes, technically there was more radios that I could have had access to. I didn't brief him on it. That would be a fair question.
Okay, so then it's a fair question for you as the leader then.
Correct.
All right. Tell me, what is your report of your mission? We know it's a success.
So as we were coming up, in this copse trees, and we're crossing here to make the last little leg into the farm, I actually saw 2 individuals ahead of us, just a little bit off to our left on my thermals. Came up, told the point man, and about 3 steps later, we took fire. We already talked ad nauseum about how that actually occurred. So it was 2 individuals, appeared to be armed with rifles, likely NVGs, given that they saw us and the accuracy. So there was quite a few near misses going on. So based on the accuracy of their fire, I would surmise they probably had some way of aiming at night. At this location, it was approximately 9 o'clock, but I didn't actually turn my watch on to check the time. Enemy forces unit, time, 9 o'clock, and equipment. Yeah.
Okay.
That runs through.
All right, that's good. Okay, so giving you a little higher level view, here is what your higher headquarters is going to take from this. Give you a high, not with you guys. So good and bad. Since we've gone through this and we know you've come, and probably what happened is you got discombobulated here and came down. So we know this part of the AO is unchecked. Second platoon has not had a good night, so we have a big chunk of their AO unchecked, and we've encountered an enemy force. We don't know what casualties we have inflicted on them. We only know that we saw 2 guys.
There was
All
at
right.
least 3 muzzle
And
flashes.
I believe they went in a southerly direction after they broke contact with us.
Okay. All right. That also tells us, guys, that our signals intelligence, something's up with this farmhouse. All right. See how this all plays out? All right. So now back to the real world. Okay. Hydrate.